Hello, everybody. I'm back again for another week of question and answers about our interim administration meeting. And this past Sunday, we took the court reporters, which in another name you would know as a stenographer. And we took about whatever he or she does within the courtrooms, and we had many questions. It was a very good turnout. We had very good conversations. So I'm going to begin with the questions, of course, and we'll start with number one. And the first question is what is a court reporter? Well, a court reporter is someone who actually, by hand, will record all of the court cases in natural sovereign law courts. All right. She or he will work like a stenographer, and they would basically dictate on a machine and write down everything that the violator would say, what the injured party would say, what the adjudicator would say, what the jurors would say, and it's recorded completely. And she also will record expressions, gestures, everything, any kind of outbursts, that will all be recorded. That is what she does. So yes, she has to be very attentive and very alert and be able to do her job very, very good. All right, because she has to have everything down. It has to be very, very authentic and correct. All right. So that is what a court reporter is. The second question I had was, what does a court reporter do? Well, I think I just answered that, and that is they basically record the cases. All right. They would basically record everything. And if there was any question, like for instance, if a juror wanted to clarify evidence, and asked her to go back through what she has written, she'd be able to scroll back in and be able to read back what the violator had said, or what the adjudicator had said, or what the injured party had said. That is what she would be able to do. All right. Number three, what skills does a court reporter need? Well, she basically needs to be able to type about 200 words per minute. All right. Because she has to be really on the ball here, very attentive. All right. Be able to see what's going on around her. All right. And be able to respond very quickly if asked a question. Have a very good vocabulary when it comes to the English language, punctuation, spelling, very, very accurate. All right. Also, they would need to know the principles and know natural sovereign law, all right, to be able to understand what is happening within the court system itself and the court case, all right. She also has to be very patient and be able to sit a long time, because sometimes the cases may go for a few hours and she might have to sit through this whole time. She also has to have very good descriptive words when it comes to expressions, when it comes to gestures, and all of that. Very good descriptive adjective and verbs. She will have to know a good variety of them. Okay. All right. The third question was asked was, what skills does a court reporter need? Well, I think I basically said that. She would have to be a good typist. She would have to be a good describer of facial expressions, a good describer of words. Also, she would have to have good punctuation, be able to notice things, all right, in the courtroom, especially when it comes to expressions and gestures. She would have to be describing them, all right? That's very important. Also, she needs to be able to operate a stenographic machine, all right? Very, very important. She has to be able to read back verbatim, word for word, what the injured party has said, or what the violator has said, or what the adjudicator has said, or even what one of the jurors have said, all right, or a witness. She has to read that back. And she has to be able to work independently on her own, all right? Also, she has to perform up to a standard where she has to have good communication skills, all right? She has to have very good sight abilities and hearing abilities, all right, to be able to hear and see everything around her and record it all. She has to be able to follow oral and written instructions, all right. She has to also have a good, like I said, vocabulary in English, very much so, because all the courts will be in English. All right. So those are some of them. I'm just trying to think of something else that she might need. Oh, good concentration over long periods of time. All right. She's going to have to be able to have very good concentration so that she can basically describe everything that's happening around her. All right. She has to be able to establish really good working relationships with the adjudicator, with the court bailiffs, because she also will be working with them, and also the court officers. So all of that whole team has to have a very good working relationship. All right. Also, let's see, she has to be able to operate several different types of machines, like a recorder, a stenographic machine, also a cart machine. And a cart machine is basically for the deaf and the hard of hearing. So we are going to be able to help them too if they're in our courts and they have a case going on. She's going to be, they need to be able to communicate with us. So she'll have to know how to operate a cart machine so that she can then translate it for them so that they can understand what's going on the whole time in the court case. All right. So those are some of the things that she's going to have to know for sure. All right. The fourth questions I had was, what abilities does a court reporter need? Well, I think I pretty well said them all. All right. Another one is, do the court reporter need training? Oh, yes, they do. And they will get their training at our learning technical centers that we will be setting up in the Republic. All right. And in there, they basically would take more of a stenographic training, dictation training. And yes, they will have to be able to have a very good vocabulary in English, very good vocabulary in descriptive words, in also adverbs, action words. All right. So they will have, it usually is about a 2 year, year and a half training to get all this down and to be up to par to what you need to be. All right. Now, also in the courts, the adjudicator is the one who decides if they need 1 or 2 court reporters. Sometimes they might have 2, and just in case it's a big case and they have lots of witnesses, they may need to be doing the reporting, like recording everything. So it all depends on the case, and it all depends on the adjudicator, because the adjudicator decides on all of that. That's one of his powers. All right. That's one of his powers. All right. So the next question, is the court reporter hired by the courts? The court reporter is hired by the sovereigns. All right. So what will happen is a court reporter can apply for that position and take in their application to the court administrators. All right. The court administrators will take your application and bring it down to the sovereign committee. And the sovereign committee will then make it display your application, not your personal information, your application to the sovereigns of the region. All right. And then on a certain date, once it's been displayed for a while, the sovereigns will come and then vote on who they want. Sometimes they may have 6 in a row, and they may be asking you to hire 2 of them. And because you always want to have a backup, all right, just in case one gets sick, or you want 2 in the courtroom, you should always have a backup. So they might have the applications out for 2 of them, and you vote on who you want to hire. And then it goes back to the sovereign committee, and then they take it to the court administrators of the region, and then the administrators will call your hiree, that the sovereign you have hired. All right. So that is how they are hired. Okay. They are hired by the sovereigns. Okay. The next question I had was, what are the responsibilities of a court reporter? Well, the responsibilities of the court reporter is to make sure all of her machines are running accurately, and to make sure that we have enough pens and papers and everything that she needs, any type of clerical material. She would have to make sure that is done. She would also have to make sure that she can hear properly, make sure you hear everybody in the courtroom, all right, and be able to see everybody. So her positioning is very important, and her positioning would also be in charge. Well, the adjudicator would be in charge of that, but they would work together as a team because they want to position her in the courtroom so that she can see everybody, hear everybody, and be able to record everything that she has seen. So it's very important where you position her. Most likely, she would either be off to the side beside the jurors, or you could have her off beside the adjudicator. But she's going to have to be able to face everybody so that she can see all the reactions and expressions that she needs to be recording. Okay, so that's exactly what she will be doing. All right, and she has to make sure that everything is working. So when she's in the court, that nothing sort of disrupts the case. Okay, so that's why she needs to know that, make sure that everything is running smoothly. Okay. Next question I have is, who does the court reporter answer to? Well, the court reporter answers to the sovereigns, but not directly. Okay. So once he or she is hired, okay, she answers then to the court adjudicator. All right. So the adjudicator and her work side by side. They both work together. All right. So if he or she is having issues with certain machinery, recording machines, or stenographic machine, and she would just go to the court adjudicator and say, look, this is what my problem is. This is what we need to get fixed. And the adjudicator will then fix it for her. You go to the administrators, and we would get all this fixed properly. Okay. So she would go to the adjudicator for anything she needs. And so, yes, she answers to the adjudicator. All right. Anyways, the next question I have is, does the court reporter take the affirmation of office? Yes. Every sovereign hired by the sovereigns of the region and of the nation take the affirmation of office. And as soon as she or he is hired, they would say this affirmation. All right. Also, in our courts, before the court cases begin, everybody would stand and the affirmation is said by everybody in the courtroom. All right, before the case begins. So yes, there'll be many times that the hirees in our court system will be saying the affirmation, all right, to the Constitution and to natural sovereign law. All right. Next question I have is, can the courts have more than one court reporter? And the answer is yes. You can have as many as your adjudicator thinks that he or she needs for that region. All right. And I would suggest starting off with 2 and then build from there, so that you can always have maybe a rotation, so that you don't always have the same person doing it all the time. And you could decide with your region. It all depends on how busy your courts are going to be. In the beginning, I'm sure it's going to be very busy, but as time goes on and as more sovereigns in the nation learn how to live with a constitution and how to live natural sovereign law, it's going to get less and less and less. All right. But it's going to take some time to instruct and educate everyone on what a constitution and what it is to live by a constitution and natural sovereign law. And like I've noticed, even today, if you have signed the affirmation of your constitution, of your nation, you are saying, I affirm, I agree, and I want to live by this constitution, and I want to live by natural sovereign law. When you sign that, that's very important. You are making an agreement. And if you break that agreement by any action or words, you are violating natural sovereign law, and you are basically being treasonous to the Constitution. So really think about that when you are signing that affirmation, even right now, because you will be held accountable for your actions and for your words. Very important. It's not a light matter. It's very important. All right, the next question I had is, do all courts need a court reporter? Yes, all courts need a court reporter. Every court, all right? Even in our admiralty law today, there are court reporters in every court case. It's very important. Everything has to be recorded. because everything has to be documented. You have to record everything, you document everything, and it's kept in files, all right? So you have your Hall of Records. You definitely want to keep them all up to date, all right? So yes, every courtroom will need a court reporter, and sometimes two, all right? But that's up to your adjudicator, and it depends on the case. All right, the next question I had is, do the pre-trials with the only adjudicator, do they need a court reporter? Yes, even our pre-trials that have a dispute between a violator and a injured party, and they aren't going to a grand jury, they're in a pre-trial with the adjudicator, who is the mediator. He's not the judge, he's the mediator. You will need a court reporter to record that whole case. All right, so it will all go down on our Hall of Records. Everything will be recorded, all right? And yes, you will need a court reporter in that too, just to, I guess, document it all so that it's all there. If there was any dispute, you can go back to the documents, and that will be your evidence and your proof, all right? So the next question I had is, does the court reporter job, is it like the media? No, not at all. It's not at all like the media, but it can be. There can be a little bit of a crossover, all right? Because they will have to record everything. They'll have to be able to run those type of recorded machines. And yes, sometimes the media may want to interview her, but that usually is only done through the adjudicator, all right? If somebody from the media wants to do a story on court reporters, she will have to go through the adjudicator to get the okay to do that, because there's only certain things that she can say. She cannot reveal cases, all right? That's just something she wouldn't be able to do, because she's obligated to keep that within the courtroom. Now, yes, we are going to be fully transparent, and yes, all of these court cases will be in the media and on television, all right? But all of the little nitty-gritty stuff that people miss or sovereigns will miss when they're hearing and seeing things, she will have recorded. And no, we do not want that totally revealed in a reporter's, story. But if they're just doing a story on a court reporter and what she does and her procedures, that's fine. But she still has to get the okay through the adjudicator to do that interview. All right. So anyways, there you go. That was my questions of the week. Well, I should say of Sunday. And so if you have any more questions, is there someone, I'm just looking at the responses here. Hello, Janie. Welcome. Welcome. Anyways, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to introduce my guest. And here she is. Just a second, I'm going to bring her in.
Yeah, hello, Elizabeth, and hello to everyone.
Hi.
Drashko from Ontario.
Hello. This is Beatrice from Ontario, and she hosts the Information Hub Room, and very good at her job. She has been working on lots of different things and creating many summits and doing a very great job. Beatrice, maybe you can tell us about what's happening with the affirmation.
Yeah, so the affirmation in Ontario continued to the national level, the Constitutional Convention, and we have a new email, ontarioconstitution2021@gmail.com. Will be inserted soon on the Ontario page, the constitutionalconvention.ca website. And also we started the summit on February 27 at 1 p.m. It was Ontario time, Easter time, and this will continue. We'll have another one in March 13, 2021, the same hour, 1 p.m. Easter time. So please join us on our Zoom room at the constitutionalconvention.ca. And also, this summit is also recorded, so everyone can listen to the summit. It's inside of the YouTube channel to the Constitutional Convention. So please join and please listen, because It's everything about Canada, a country without a constitution. It's about the sovereignty, to understand better the constitution written by the people for the people. This is very important because it's written by the sovereign and it's not written by the political parties. And the summit will just continue on March 13. Elizabeth, also you are invited to speak about the natural law because we reject common law, civil law, and we adopt the natural law. And there is a relationship between the sovereignty and the natural law. We cannot have real sovereignty without natural law if we do not recognize the natural law. And we cannot have protection under our constitution if we do not declare our republic. So
that's right.
Be protected. We need republic as form as type of government, constitution to the national level. Doesn't matter what kind of the project you will start to develop to the local level, even that will start to develop this kind of the project before, it's great, but we are still under this system. So all the time to pass on the new system, we need our constitutional form. So please come on our Zoom room and also send us an email. Then a link will be sent to you through the e-signing that you can affirm the Constitutional Convention anytime in Ontario at ontarioconstitution2021@gmail.com.
Thank you, Beatrice. That was awesome. And I have to say the summit was excellent last Saturday. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a really good turnout, and I learned a lot, even though I think I know a lot. But thank you very much. And yes, we are going to be hopefully launching the website real soon. But I'm going to invite in my next guest, and Miguel, just a sec. Hello, Miguel. Introduce yourself.
Okay, microphone is on.
Yeah, it's on.
So as you heard, my name is Miguel. I have an accent because I lived most of my life in Portugal, even though I was born here in Canada. So I got to see a bit of the difference of culture between Portugal and Canada. I also lived in Ireland and Finland. So even though there's pros and cons about traveling and living in different countries, what I can say, the positive side is that I got to see how people think in different countries, in the countries that I lived on, and how much behind North America is in relation to mentality and to certain aspects in life. Even though, of course, I'm among people that are very intelligent, but like majority of the population are not prepared for the stuff that we're doing. So we don't need a majority. We only need a percentage of the population to join us, to affirm the Constitution and to get their power back. And one thing that I see that has been like something keeping people back from joining us is that they don't believe in their own power. They don't believe that their decision has any power in this country, and most people would prefer to sign a petition than to sign their name on a constitution, And a constitution is only a piece of paper if nobody is behind it. So it has power if people agree to it. And,
very right. You're right. That's correct, Miguel. Yeah, we don't realize the power we have.
Yeah.
And we give it away so freely, and that basically puts us back into the enslavement that we are in today. Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. I was going to ask you, Miguel, about, we talked about a flyer. Have you completed it yet?
I have the old flyer that I've done here, I still have to add the new email, and I was waiting to get the logo with the tree finished.
Oh, yes.
We'll finish that pretty soon, and we'll have the flyer out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. What did you think of the summit last Saturday?
It was very good. It was more people than I expected to join the Zoom room, just as spectators. I thought we would have more viewers on through Facebook or other platform. So it was nice to see so many people involved in joining the Zoom room.
Yeah, it was very good. I was quite happy with it. We had actually quite a few people watching, so it was nice. It was very nice. All right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you guys for coming today. And Beatrice, do you have any questions for Miguel?
It is not exactly a question. I know that Miguel is very involved in Ontario, and please let the other provinces to know what happened here with the lockdown in Ontario, because you try to practically to inform the people about the Constitutional Convention and what happened with your friends that were arrested.
Yeah, I've been going to the protests here in Toronto since it started. Like, I went to the first one that was ever made last year. I think it was in April, beginning of April, in Queen's Park. So I got to see the movement, if you can call it the movement, or the gathering of people grow, and a lot of people are very upset by what's going on, and we have gone now through a year. A year has passed, and people are still protesting, still complaining to the government, and many still think that this problem is going to go away by voting, by getting another person to go into politics and go to the crown system and change the system from within. And they don't understand the history of Canada, and that this country, it never stopped being a colony. They only grabbed the paperwork that they had from colonial times, and they changed a few words and updated put some sugar on top and called it, okay, we have a constitution and people are free. But it's complete delusion. Yeah. And that's one of the main issues that we have, because people still believe in the delusion, and yes, some people, well, actually a lot of people now have been arrested here in Toronto for bogus claims. But anyway, they just want to silence people, to make people afraid of being arrested, and to have them comply and sign what do you call there's a word for it. Just sign a paper to say that they won't be in the protests, and even if they're not,
so
if they don't live in the
like
city.
A compliance.
Yeah. There's a word for
really?
that. I don't. Yeah.
Are they being forced to sign that?
Well, signed under duress.
Okay.
In the way that if you don't sign it, you're going to stay in prison until you're convinced to sign. But there has been some cases, at least 2 cases of two individuals who refused to sign and actually said up front that they didn't mind going to prison. So in those cases, I guess the police thought, okay, we're not gonna make them sign the paper, so we're wasting our time with them, so they just let them go.
So it's kind of an intimidation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So they're intimidating everybody out there.
Intimidation. Yeah.
Have you heard about those hotels? Like, I've heard about these hotels that people are staying in. What's happening with that?
Yeah, it's a similar situation where people are being put in a sort of a prison, a room in a hotel, and they are told that they have to stay there, but they don't have to stay there. They're just forced, not forced, but like intimidated and they're told that if they don't stay, they'll get the tickets and problems, and they have to go to court and all the rest of the stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Actually in England, okay, in the UK here, they have the same thing going on. All the travelers coming in have to go to these hotels, right? So they were in the hotel, and they all commuted into the smoking room because they had a smoking room, right? They all could congregate to have their cigarettes. So they were all in the smoking room, and they all decided, oh, well, they have a little party and they're drinking and they were laughing and they were joking around and hugging each other and just really enjoying themselves, right? Well, in case, separated all of them, locked them in their room. They were told they could not smoke anymore, that they would be giving nicotine supplements, and they were only allowed to come out of their room supervised 15 minutes a day. The rest of your time, you're in your room. I was like, what? Yeah.
Tell me
So
that is not a prison system.
they were stopped right away. I mean, that's what's happening here in the UK. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So
Yeah.
I do understand it's getting out of hand. Like you said, the intimidation's getting even worse and worse. So, but
Yeah.
anything else that you guys would like to share with us today?
So not for the moment. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Beatrice?
Yes, thank you so much for the invitation.
Hello? Beatrice?
Yes.
I think we'll have a connection problem.
Yeah, probably, but I do not know if I have the connection problem or Elizabeth has the.
I think it's Elizabeth, because I can hear you. I just can't.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll just wait for her to come back.
So
We're gonna finish anyway soon. I don't know if this is still live, but I can just repeat more or less what I was saying, because people have to believe that they have power in this country. That together we can do something about it. As long as if we keep appealing to the government authority to make the changes, to tell us or to stop doing what they're doing, this is never going to change, ever. It's only going to get worse.
exactly. So practically, how the government is working, it's all the time under the type of the government that is chosen on that country. So the people, first of all, they have the power to affirm the constitution. And when this constitution is backed by the sovereign, by there we are free. We will experience finally a real freedom, because it's a huge relationship between the sovereignty, the natural law. You cannot be real sovereignty without the natural law, and only the republic can protect your constitution. And inside of the republic, you are protected by the sovereignty and the natural law. So you are back, Elizabeth? Yes.
Sorry about that. I got kicked out, guys. It happens to me every once in a while. I hope you guys just continued on.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, thank you guys very much. Is there anything else you guys would like to share with us?
I think that's all for now.
Yeah, it's all for now.
Thank you for the invitation, and I'll see you guys soon on another stream.
Standard Time. And please join us. You can email me at eseewalt@protonmail.com. That's ESEEW as in Walter, ALT as in Tom @protonmail.com. Please email me and I will send you the link. And yes, it's at 3 p.m. Sunday. I hope to see you all there. And thank you, Beatrice, and thank you, Miguel, for joining me today. And I'm sorry about being the interruptions here. My internet is acting up, and I apologize to all of you sovereigns out there. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you, Harvey, for joining us, and thank you, Janie. Take care and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. We'll see you next Wednesday. Hopefully I'll have everything under control by then. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.